Australia go 2-0 up in the Ashes. Now, this is going to be a very fraught podcast of a couple of guys on the internet. One at a barbecue in Surrey, having left the grounds before I would have been lynched. And Pezza, it is, 1:30 a.m. in Australia. There are fucking scenes deluxe. There is a whole heap of shit in the way of getting in the... basically getting in the way of celebrating an absolutely remarkable Australian victory. Remarkable for many, many elements. Namely that they got sent in on a fucking green deck, overcast conditions, and they lose a bowler throughout the test, and they still win by, 50-odd runs. This episode is brought to you by Budgy Smuggler. Use the code goodareas at budgysmuggler.com for free shipping. You know what? If you're an Australian anywhere in the world, get some Budgy Smugglers on to let people know that it's 2-0. Fuck off right now. Sam Perry, tell me the scenes in Melbourne.
Mate, I started this test match at Lord's, copying it from some old cunt after Cam Green got out, and I finish it at 1:44 a.m. here in the cold of Melbourne, absolutely surfing the crest of a tsunami of adrenaline and delirium, jet-lagged that is, and the only game I can think of in my life that was absorbing as that one was the last one. It's great to be back. Thank you for your videos the last couple of days. This was a deeply special game. Here goes, in time, I think it's one that will underscore the unprecedented toughness and resilience of the Australians, of this Australian team. I don't think Australia wins this game, just like the last one. They played in markedly worse conditions than the opposition. They lost their frontline spinner. They endured the superhuman, demonic, pure energy of Ben Stokes, which we'll come to. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in cricket, what he did today. Yep. And they also endured the garbage, pantomime, tribalism, and nasty jingoism, repressed jingoism, I would say, from that particular crowd at Lord's, booed and taunted as cheats for the day, for daring to run out a bloke that did something that would not belong in under 12s. That will be discussed later. I thought that Pat Cummins' black eye...
Like and subscribe.
Pat Cummins' black eye was apt after today. I'd call it a badge of honour. Maybe we saw a more robust side of him this afternoon. We've always said he's alpha. But I thought what he did was honesty too. It is a victory for Australia that will live long in the memory. And fuck me, Nathan Lyon's song on one leg will be one for the ages.
Jesus Christ, man! What am I doing down here? Why did I have to leave? You know, because so just to explain where I am, just for my own purposes. So I played 3 years of cricket down in Surrey, and I'm catching up with all friends and family today, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see them all. It was fucking tough going when I didn't have reception on the tube heading down here, and just missing all the action. But that aside, so right now I'm in my friend's house suppressing squeals and giggles and happiness generally. But I don't even know if I am happy. It's mainly just relief. Cricket isn't happiness. We've said that for a long time, but this is mainly just relief. There's definitely some joy in it, I suppose, but it's mainly relief after what we've seen. But also, you make a great point, Pezza, is that this team lost almost an identical game 4 years ago at Headingley, obviously, when the guy does something just absolutely insane. And they've learnt those mistakes, and because it's a very mature, experienced team, and we are seeing the fruits of the labour of experience by having gone through the hardships and having to watch the last hour in Headingley via the previous coach and all that stuff. They went through all of those things together to get to this point where they've learnt from that, and they end up winning this game. I've got a problem a little bit in the sense that I obviously want my team to win, and I want my team to win on day 5 of the 5th test match, because that'd make it a great series. This sort of it feels like it might kill the series a little bit, though England now just play 3 cup finals, and maybe that's what Bazball needs. But at the same time, I'm here with my friends that I made lifelong friends with when I played here, and Pezza, you've got some great friends that you had when you lived in London as well. And I've got great friends that are from the UK back in Australia, and I cherish the friends that I've made over the course of this cricketing life. But also fucking suck my dick, you fucking wet little cucks with your shit fucking takes on cricket, you fucking little beaters.
Have you asked your friend if you're allowed to throw one of his chairs through his windows?
Mate, it was chairs through windows.
Mate, I look, the feelings are probably ill-considered at the moment because
I've got no clear thought.
Lots of factors. I withdraw the remark about calling the old guy cunt before. But I'd call him a fucking cunt.
Chances are he probably was. Why pick out Kawaja? That's
try
weird.
again.
That's a weird thing. Wasn't there a report recently?
Mate.
Was there a report recently about that stuff? I can't really remember. It was the day before.
I thought we were gone in this game. Like, I was bracing to
before,
take
Pezza.
licks. Mate, I was getting anxiety on top of anxiety from like WhatsApps and SMSs from older people, like throughout the night. So I'm just giving you the Australian experience here as well. Like as dusk to, well, it's not even dusk here in Melbourne. It's fucking black at 5 p.m. But like I'm under the covers. I'm not even moving, and I'm getting texts from people who like sort of have played cricket and not, like telling me what Cummins should be doing. I'm like, lots of guys know how to direct bouncers on WhatsApp. Lots of people know how to deal with a wicket that was two pace yesterday and now just had nothing and couldn't get above hip height. And it was giving me anxiety on top of anxiety. And I was like, like this is going to be a game where I'm just going to start this show by saying, like, well, England, you now get to listen to all the podcasts, read all the articles, watch all the videos. You get the win and you get the moral high ground. You're on cloud nine. Yeah. It's DVDs, it's parades, it's Sky replays, it's, whacking off under the covers with a little tinfoil hat on, however you like to enjoy it. Put your own chair through a window with your pants down. This is your time. Like, this was going to be the greatest victory for England ever. Like, I'll tell you why, because it's going to be the first time I've ever seen an England team boo their team to victory. And I'm not talking about cheering Joe Root. Yeah. Like I was like, is this the perfect win for English culture? Like, does it get any better? The perfect confluence of come from behind, heroic performance, and enjoying the opposition losing more than your own team winning. Like, I was just getting ready to just, mate, I was just going to be whiplashed like I was at old Sydney town.
Utopia.
Mate, for England. And I was kind of happy for them. You know what I mean?
Both arms in the fucking lock.
Exactly. And the views like are going to be down. It's like this has cost us views. Cummins and his goddamn composure has cost us views.
God damn it, Pat.
But nevertheless, it's just what a spectacular game. What a fucking bizarre game in so many ways. Let's just for a second worship at the altar of Test cricket. Nothing offers that shit up ever. It's unbelievable. I'm cherishing as much as I can. I'm sure I've already woken up my whole family and I'm in trouble, but I don't care because, as we've already agreed, it's chairs through window stuff for Australia.
100%, mate. And whilst we're worshipping, let's talk about the England captain, Ben Stokes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so when Stokes comes out to bat, he was like this sort of like this sort of wincing hero, like he's like wincing on one leg. He's like and then like someone poked the bear. I don't know what happened, and he and like he's gonna power his way to another historic breaking of Australian hearts. Like I was like when Stokes assumes superhuman form, as we've seen him do at Headingley and other times as well. But like, it's just about the most powerful force I've seen in almost sport.
It's a cheat code.
When it's happening, it's like he could bat for 10 days and make 5,000 runs. Like he's like been dipped in radioactive slosh, and he's switched on superpowers, and we're just powerless to whatever he wants to do. Like, it's mishits over the fence. You're in a current. You're in a super rip. You're in a mega current. It's tidal. It's the moon. You're fucked, especially if you're Australian. And like time stops for him. He's crouching down to like dig out Yorkers that he's disinterested in hitting a six from, like an arthritic man, who's dropped his credit card, like, that's, like, Don't you think? Like, but he's doing it slowly
You know-
because he's got time. The ball's coming at 90 mile an hour. It's like, nah, that one's not going. You know, that's the one that annoys me more than the sixes.
You know, like when a batsman's like really in strife and you just see a ball go down, you're like, well, I know that he nicks that. When Stokes gets in this area, I all of a sudden I don't think I've ever actually seen Ben Stokes get out before. And I think now that I really think about it, I think he's actually hit every ball for six. I think his career strike rate is 600. And then. He's just a guy playing Mario Kart with the endless star. He's just fucking knocking over shit. He's getting speed ramps everywhere, and I'm fucking Luigi just going.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm fucking.
You're next to him with the bad controller, going, "Mom, I never get the good one." You know? Also, you're his older brother, and you're planning on how to hurt him later. Anyway, yeah.
that's right. Emotionally, yeah. But it's just When that got going, I was in so much trauma. I mean, I was on a train and I was just gripped by anxiety. I had a pit, a stitch, shin splints, and a knot.
Yeah.
I was just like in this just tensed anxiety feeling of like, I remember where I was 4 years ago when this happened.
Yeah.
And I remember how bad it hurt me.
Yeah.
And I remember all the memes. I remember every communication. I remember every DM. I remember every sandpaper jibe. And it's all coming again. And I don't want to do this. I feel like I got past this. It cost me $85,000 in therapy and I've moved on with my life. And now the guy's going to hit 215 red and they're going to win by 4 wickets and he'll never get out again.
mate, all I could say, like, in a much more kind of glib way than that beautiful description, is that in cricket you have the phenomenon where if you don't move, when you're watching. I actually got to the point, I was like, they're swiping and swatting and heaving. I'm like, something's got to go up in the air at some point. And then I think I went through the 7 stages of grieving of the loss with 150 to get. Right. I was like, oh, this is acceptance. And actually, maybe with that 90 to get, I stood up, I went and got a tea, and I was like pacing around. I was just like, oh, I'm actually beginning to process this fucking pain that every 6 is a fucking jab. And I used the word annoying before incorrectly, describing that Yorker that that he digs out for 0 because he's not interested in that one going wherever he wants it to. It's actually just it's just supreme admiration, which I can obviously afford to be magnanimous about now. But
of course,
what a player he is, class
second best on the day
from an Aussie fan, But no, right. I mean seriously, I was like. I was like licks, I must take the pain of every shot, and I just wanted Ben to give me the sweet release of death, that last shot, please jab me with the sweet release, Ben. From your enormous mitts, which swallowed me 2 weeks ago. I mean, what we're talking about was like the privilege of watching somebody truly in the zone. I mean, the way he reels you in or slows the game down and then just destroys you in a rampage, and then seeing a little bit of that kind of violence and rampage, maybe unfortunate adjectives there, but once Bairstow got out, it's like Stokes was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna win this in 6 balls now, and and then you get the full unraveling of everything else. Like now Broad's playing. Now Broad's whipping up the crowd with theatre, which he does, so that he can create the environment that he can thrive in. I like to think there's some method to it, as irritating as it is. You have to, and now he's hitting boundaries, and now Ponting's losing it on comms, and Ponting's more stressed than Cummins, and then that might reflect some captaincy, elements to both of them. But and then you also think, watching it unfold, thinking I'm resigned to this being over. You think how much Langer must have hated the team to have made them watch it Headingley the next day, a lot of thoughts, but then Hoff just comes on and out of nowhere just pops one up, and Hoff sort of Hoff's a wrestler now, and then we're good to go.
Just speaking of a dismissal, it sort of says something about literally the arc of the sixes, but also the arc of the innings. Sky had an image before about Ben Stokes' sixes, and it was like Guy Fawkes night. It was like the trajectory of just fireworks going off, and it was like, okay, first of all, like anything at the offside, Ben? Anything at the offside there?
Any interest?
Benny, any interest in something through the covers? But it was, but then the fact that he was that upset that like one didn't go 175 meters just sort of says of the purity and like the never missingness
Mate.
of that striking. It was sick,
Mate. And watching
and the thing was, it was like, well, he can't do this forever. But he kept doing it forever, and then like the numbers start getting into the 2 digits, and I was like, I've already bought this DVD. I don't know why I bought the DVD, but I bought it. Also, who's buying DVDs? Want to get a laser disc?
Well, the game's
Want to
so
get a
good that
VHS.
DVDs are back, but yeah. He reversed media trends. Yeah, man, it was just spectacular. I suppose that was. Yeah, you're trying to rack your brain for like rational reasons why you might get out at that point. And all I could think was like Headingley made 135, which is like just enough time at the crease to do the damage. But I'm like, he's going to need like 200 here. And can you bouge 200 runs? Well, that was that. It was like maybe he'll get tired. The body must get tired at some point. But he just, he's so radioactively like superhuman. He's a monster. And I mean, look, probably using some violent like imagery to describe him, but it's really more like. I mean, my dad said it. My dad, who I went to the first 2 days with, and he's still in London, so it was a very special game for us. He texted me and noted that Nasser Hussain. Remarked on Steve Smith's greatness after his 110 in the first innings. But Dad said, Nasser said that about Smith, but this is greatness. I mean, it really was. You can say these things without ending up with the win. That scorecard is going to look like the hottest thing Stokes has ever seen once the emotion of the loss dissipates.
Frame it up.
Yeah. All right. Shall we walk into the third thing that people are waiting for? I mean, there was
and now ruin the day. Yep.
there was. The reason we ordered the show this way was because you've got to talk about the team who won the fucking game and then the guy that like did the most amazing thing ever before you get into this gear. Or do you?
The fucking dross, the Maya of
Okay, well, I'm titling the third thing "Very Simple Chalk?" Because that was the the meme for this is the Joker saying "Here we go," because first things first, very simple chalk.
It's very simple.
It's very, very simple. But look, I guess my first question is, what is more under 12s? Underarming at the stumps as a keeper because the batter's out of their ground, or the batter who walks out of their ground. I don't know. I think it's Bairstow. Like, I think that's more under 12s. Like, I think the main story from a cricketing perspective, a lot of people have ethics here, which is all good, especially the long room. Galatasaray away had their own ethics. But the main story for me from a cricketing perspective is Bairstow's appalling awareness. If I was in his team, I'd be furious. Let's call it out. Mainly for comedic reasons, Bairstow, who is a deeply talented cricketer and destructive cricketer, has a reputation for being loose and, as Michael Atherton says, dozy. There are other words you could use that would probably be too aggressive. And that's part of this. It's been exploited. I've got no doubt that a lot of people in England who know Johnny will be going, he's got something like that in him. He's like,
that's Johnny.
Yeah. So, but it also should be said, he goes, because we have, I say we, I'll speak personally, but like I don't like the run out non-strikers end law. I got a problem with the law. I don't think it's a law befitting of the action in the game, but you can't have a go at those who actually use the law. right? And I don't think we've ever done that. There is a grimness to the look of that dismissal. There is a grimness to it. I do think the grimness of the look of it is disproportionate to the abuse that the Australians received for the rest of the day. You know, that's pantomime stuff. That's beat up stuff. For me, I found it interesting that, and then sorry, into the specifics of the dismissal, Kerry does it straight away. That matters. He doesn't wait for Bairstow to go. He knows Bairstow is going to go, which I think
it's one motion. I
think it defeats the you were a keeper. Like, I think it defeats the no skill argument. You know, like, there was skill in Carey clearly identifying a run out opportunity in the balls leading up to the dismissal, particularly given, like, Bairstow had been shown to be wandering previously. It may not be skill that people personally appreciate, but which is awareness, but it's skill nonetheless. And you know, I mean, obviously, if Bairstow did that, he'd be a massive cheat. But no,
yeah, of course.
You know, I think this. Okay, before we get into the sort of sociological elements of it, like, what did you make of the dismissal itself?
When I first saw it, my thoughts were that I was like, I'm a bit uncomfortable with it. Like, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that nature of the dismissal. And then I started to think about it a little bit. So just for my just the explanation, I wasn't at the ground. I'd left by that point. So again, that was probably for the best, given the lynching nature of then the Lord's crowd. Although it would probably help that I'm white.
I love that you're doubling down on
there.
leaving one of the most controversial days of Test cricket in the history, and satisfying days in its history, because you're going for a barbie down in Farnham or wherever the fuck you are.
Mate, I tell you what, this barbecue's got a lot of pressure on it right now. A lot of pressure. I mean, if these blokes don't have some of the best fucking chat, we're not reminiscing about the old times and how good we were at cricket in 10 minutes, I'm fucking out of here. Okay, so when I saw it, I was like, nah. And then I started to think about it a bit more. And then I was just thinking, like, okay, so Renshaw's a bat pad. It's the end of the over. But Carey isn't lobbing the ball back to Hazelwood. I think Hazelwood's a bowler, right?
Yep.
He does
it
it
was
deliberately.
green. It was green.
He knows... My apologies, green. So he knows that Bairstow is doing it. So it's like it's a deliberate attempt. There's other elements which don't matter, but I think kind of do, just in the sense of like internet speak, because like Ben Folkes did the same thing in New Zealand in 2019. I think it was in New Zealand in 2019. Okay, maybe not in the exact same circumstances, but basically like ran someone out by underarming the ball. I think in my life, I said this yesterday, Pezza, in my life, the catch that Mitchell Starc takes is out for me, because the ball's hit in the air and the guy catches it on the full. And if that's in like any other game of cricket, if you just watch it in normal speed with your human eyes that you have, that's just out for me. I understand that it's not, and the rules were applied correctly. That's fine. And then like this one today is also in the rules of the game.
Just to pick that up, sorry. That catch is out because he caught it on the full.
Yeah. No. I know. I'm not talking about like eye for an eye stuff necessarily. No. I'm just saying like just how I experienced the game. Like that one was out last night for me. I understand why. This one is out. This one's out because of the laws of the game. I understand that. I don't know if it sits that well. But it doesn't fucking matter. But like my point being is that like it's a bit like what goes around comes around. Sometimes you take bad decisions and you take decisions that go like it just goes both ways, you know. And like that's fine in my life. Fundamentally, it doesn't really matter. You can get into some fucking same old Aussies always cheating, booing Lord's crowd, some fucking seriously embarrassing gear, seriously embarrassing communication from people on the internet. That's just going to happen. And great day for Elon Musk to absolutely fuck Twitter. And then just some fucking heinous looking gear with like, if Usman Khawaja is squaring up to you in the long room, have a fucking look at yourself, you fucking dopey cunt. I mean, like, even like if it's the most mundane, I'm sorry, that is just... How fucking dumb have you got to... I'm winding myself up now, and I'm probably going to wind up people on the internet who have made it this far because you're a masochist for pain, or a sucker for pain, if you will.
Tim Payne.
I just you've asked me just on the pure visceral level of what I thought about it. I was like, nah, not really for me. It's out though, and it's Bairstow's made a mistake, and it's yeah. So I'm just talking about how I enjoy the game. I don't know if I've answered it, but yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I think once you get into the realm of like dismissals needing to hit a certain level of artistic integrity to also satisfy an ethics bar, like it's getting it's getting a bit silly.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and then you get into the undercurrent of I haven't prepared words on this, but like the fact that the Aussies were booed and called cheats all day, and in fact they were booed at least a couple of them. I mean, I know Steve Smith was when he walked to the crease on day one, and roundly called cheats for the entire game. And what I find curious about it is that, unfortunately, like as Australians, our reputation from decades prior precedes us, and it's really disappointing.
And rightfully so, by the way. Rightfully so. That this current team is successful because they have fought against all the wrongs that like our team permeated for basically our entire lifetime and before
That's
even
right.
that. Like that's part of the reason why this team is so successful, because they've gone away from that and they're fighting against the fucking morons that still want to like just fucking like get in people's faces and sledge and be angry and bitter.
Yeah.
This team right now is still being punished for, one, other teams doing that, and two, from the old generation for not doing that. So that's also part of the reason why this is so successful, such a successful team.
Well, and it's part of what makes the win particularly meaningful, I think. Like, so I was going to say that they still carry the sins of the father, this current team, and I just sensed, even being at Lords, and Edgbaston as well. There is there's a desperation and keenness to cast Australian cricket teams that way, and I can't really detect whether it's in a superficial pantomime way or whether something cuts a little bit deeper in it. I do suspect for a lot of people it's the latter, and all I push back on with that is that actually this is the what's the word? Like, this is the North Star of Cummins' captaincy. That, as you said before, like, he has actually moved the team away from a lot of that garbage that previous teams went on with. And so it does great when this team is cast in that light too, maybe for pantomime purposes, but then it gets a little bit nastier and more hostile, even, and obviously it doesn't matter whether you're out, in Birmingham and a man in a Wonder Woman suit drinking from 8 a.m. with his phone in his undies is calling you a convict and a cheat, or whether, a London property developer in the long room questions your ethics as well. Like, there's just a general keenness for Aussies to be villains and cheats, and I don't think this particular team actually has the form to deserve that. I mean, Alex Carey has no form for that whatsoever. What I did think we saw was Cummins show that harder line that he has. Let's call it out. His alternative was to call Bairstow back for spirit of cricket reasons. For those in England who might not consider this side of things, he would probably be lynched at home if he did that, and especially if England went on to win. I mean, his hardness as a captain is already under question. I mean, yeah, I think it's a massive beat-up, and I also think it's going to be a distraction from what was a huge win. I just have a crow's feet here as well. A non-please.
Sure.
Developing some serious crow's feet from the long room on day 5, with Tories deciding they are the rightful arbiters of morality in cricket. What would a property developer in inner London know about ethics? That ball wasn't dead, but you're... Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, I didn't read that last line.
Now, if all of a sudden, Pat Cummins and the boys decide to come out with visitsaudi.com, sponsorship, then I'm actually... That's going to be harder to get behind, but, I've got to get behind my boys here. Now... people, haven't decided what the thumbnail or title of this video is going to be, but I think it's going to be something provocative. People will come to this and they won't engage with the conversation, but it's the cheating thing is a funny. It's not funny. It's just moronic. But like imbuing that tone, generally speaking. Okay, then why is Bairstow given out? Why is he out then? Because that's just what happens. He's out because he went out of his crease and the ball wasn't dead. I don't know. Maybe I'm scrambling here to find the perfect verbose language which does not exist to try and describe why it should be out.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't defend previous Australian teams from accusations of like immorality and cheating and villainy and these kinds of things. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. Like, I think when you grow up playing cricket in Australia, or even these guys, like you sort of understand that like villainy can be fun, sometimes. But I don't think this team deserves it as much, and I do find it particularly grating. When you are an Australian sitting, at a place like Lords, it does get grating to be continually cast as ugly and cheating and immoral by people who spend the entire day booing you. To me, what is uglier? Alex Carey. Perhaps exploiting a technicality in the game, or a whole crowd calling visitors cheats all day, and I think a lot of those people, it's not everybody, I have to say as well, but a lot of those people will be going home, though losing, sort of misguidedly satisfied in their own ethical superiority over the ugly Australians, having spent the entire day booing us and calling us cheats and stopping guys like Usman Khawaja in the long room. I mean, it's disgraceful.
It is. Disgraceful is the correct word. Just to round out the point, England have been absolutely abysmal for 80% of the game. They have lost the game by including winning the toss on a green seamer, having all the conditions in their favour, including today. One of their players scores one of, if not the greatest, fourth innings 100 you will ever see, and they, as it turns out, weren't close. They were. If you analyse the game, and I'm not trying to wind up people necessarily. If I'm an England fan, England were pathetic in this game. The attack was poor, the fielding was poor, the batting was even worse, especially in the first innings. England were abysmal, and they're 2-0 down. They are still in the series. They still have good players. They have match winners, as we've seen today. What happens at the end of the game, and it will be twisted in terms of like cheating Aussies, etc. Australia have better players. They have better wicketkeeper. They have better batters. They probably have a better captain with a calm head, possibly. Australia are a better team. They are 2-0 up in the Ashes, and as an Australian, you should not feel any guilt about that. It makes it very tasty when you get called a convict for 10 days. But as I've always said, those allegations were never proven with my forefathers, and it was a Ponzi scheme, sure, but we got away with it in the end. Hashtag ASKTGC, Pezza.
Okay, somehow this is in the same vein. This is from Anon. Completely sober thoughts coming at the lunch break of day 5. These thoughts have been on my mind for a while. Players on a cricket field are cricketers, not heroes. David Warner punched Joe Root. Ben Stokes did what he did. I won't use those words. Johnny Bairstow headbutted Cam Bancroft. Ollie Robinson bowled off spin. No one is a fucking hero. They are players playing in a sport governed by laws. If supporters or players can't accept these laws and only want to play by said laws when it is comfortable for them, then find a new fucking sport. Ben Duckett looked out but wasn't out because of a law. Bairstow shouldn't be out due to the fictitious existence of the spirit of cricket, but he's given out due to said laws. The players on the Australian team aren't going out of their way to be cheats. They are playing a sport and playing it by said laws. Anybody calling any player, team or person a cheat better not come from a country that rubs sandpaper on a cricket ball, invaded and colonised countries already inhabited, or best yet, have literally had entire teams abolished from their domestic T20 league for match fixing. No one's a hero. No one's a cheat. Everyone is just a cricketer in a cricket team. Fuck me.
That's really, really good. I like it. I got nothing further to add.
Can I say? I'll say one more thing.
Have you felt all the things?
One more thing. This is our last video with both you and I in the UK, or is it a podcast tomorrow? Is it a podcast tomorrow, Higgins?
We're doing the podcast tomorrow. My main
Okay.
podcast tomorrow. I'll still be in London.
You'll still be in London. Okay, well, I will wait for parting remarks of gratitude and thanks.
You know what, though? As sad as it is that it's gone 2-0 up, this has been an amazing 2 test matches. It's a little bit of a shame that it's not 1-1 or 1-0 or something where the series still feels alive. England is still in it, but fuck me, Australia. Those are 2 of the greatest away victories, certainly in my lifetime. I've felt so many things, but right now, I feel sheer relief.
Yep.
See you guys tomorrow on the internet.